Hi, everyone, and welcome to KREM 2 News at Noon. I'm Laura Papetti. It is good to see you on this Monday. It was certainly a foggy beginning of the day in many areas. So, folks wondering what it can be like this afternoon. Will the fog stick around? Let's check in with meteorologist Thomas Patrick.
Good afternoon, Laura. I can tell you that I think our weather conditions have just not budged at all in the last several hours here. From our outdoor weather center, we have one of our TV towers that's in our parking lot. Just staring straight up, I cannot even see the top of it. So maybe the cloud cover at about 100 to 200 feet above our heads here. That in itself might actually reduce some of the visibilities for some of our higher locations. And for the airport itself, still reporting fog as of the noon hour. It's just been stuck there all morning long. So you see the visibility reported a quarter mile out of Spokane. That at the airport. Here at our studios, it's probably a little bit better. It's probably 1 or 2 mile visibility, and a little bit even better yet over downtown Spokane, where the elevation is a bit lower. So that very low cloud cover just kind of intersecting the highest of elevations of Spokane County. Nonetheless, this is just keeping our temperatures absolutely stuck at the moment. 29 in Spokane. It has not moved since 8 o'clock this morning. It's 31 in Pullman and 34 just getting above the freezing mark in Coeur d'Alene. So if the cloud cover persists, we're going to have a hard time even cracking the 30-degree mark. Even a little bit of sunshine can put us at about 35 for today. But with this stable weather pattern, it's going to be like this for at least a couple more days. So coming up, let's show you what the extended outlook looks like, or how many days we'll get fog, and when the rain returns to our forecast later on.
All right, my friend, thank you. Coming in new at noon, after 3 losses in a row, WSU is making some changes to its coaching staff. Just in the past 2 hours, the team announced it has fired its defensive coordinator, Jeff Schmedding. The Cougs are ranked 90th in the country in defense, giving up more than 28 points a game. After starting the season 8-1, WSU lost its last 3 games to teams with losing records. In a statement, head coach Jake Dickert wrote, quote, "After evaluating our program, we have not met the standard defensively, and I felt a change was needed for the best interest of the program." Dickert has not yet announced who will serve as the defensive coordinator for the team's bowl game to be played coming up in the next few weeks. Also new at noon, the Gonzaga men's basketball team has fallen 4 spots in the latest AP poll. The Zags are ranked 7th overall after a loss to West Virginia last week. Gonzaga, though, has a chance to make up some ground in the poll with a matchup against Kentucky. That's coming up this weekend on Saturday. The game will be played in Seattle. Kentucky comes into the game undefeated and ranked 4th in the country. So you can stay up to date on all the Gonzaga basketball news with Locked on Zags. You can watch new episodes daily on KREM 2+. Today, Locked on Zags is breaking down where the Zags need to improve to remain a national championship contender. And if you don't yet have KREM 2+, it is free to download. It's on Roku, Fire, and Apple TVs. It has been decades since mining ended, but environmental impacts are still being felt at the Midnight Mine in Stevens County. Located near Wellpinit, operations began at the uranium mine back in 1955. However, the mine closed about 25 years later. Since then, some invisible dangers of the mine have been brought to light.
You know, they made the decision back then that they had to make, but it was an everlasting, impact on the environment and the people.
Join us tonight on KREM 2 News at 6 as our Environment Northwest team investigates the lasting impact of uranium mining on the Spokane tribe and the land they call home. 3 people died in 2 separate car crashes on US 95 over the weekend. The first crash happened near Whitebird, killing 2 people. Idaho State Police say a Riggins man was traveling northbound when he crossed over into the southbound lanes. The driver struck another car with 3 people inside. Yesterday, one of the victims died from his injuries. The other driver died at the scene. Also, another person died along Highway 95. This is south of Grangeville. State police say a 30-year-old man from Lewiston was driving south when his truck drifted off the shoulder and rolled over. Police say the driver was not wearing a seatbelt and was thrown from the truck, and he died at the scene. Some big national news. President Biden has changed his mind and decided that his son Hunter will not face jail time after all. The president issued a full and unconditional pardon on behalf of his son. Natalie Brand has reaction on that decision.
President Biden ignored questions from reporters as he arrived in Africa Monday. Hunter Biden's pardon, broad in scope, clears him of all crimes he has committed or may have committed over the years from January 1st, 2014 to December 1st, 2024. It comes as Hunter Biden was set to be sentenced this month and could have faced years in prison after being convicted of felony gun charges and pleading guilty to federal tax fraud. President Biden said in a statement that he believes his son was targeted for political reasons, writing, "No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he is my son, and that is wrong." But IRS Special Agent Joseph Ziegler says that's not the case.
This wasn't any different than any other criminal tax case that we work. He knowingly and willfully filed false tax returns, and that's criminal. That's a felony violation.
President Biden's decision is a major reversal of his previous position. He and his administration repeatedly said Hunter Biden would not be pardoned.
I said I abide by the jury decision. I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
President-elect Donald Trump, who has called the Biden family corrupt, said on social media the pardon was, quote, an abuse and miscarriage of justice. Trump himself granted clemency to his son-in-law Jared Kushner's father, who had pleaded guilty to tax evasion and campaign finance crimes. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.